Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one I'm gonna go over the attachment system for guns in fixed point blank mode, focusing more on the variable zoom system using multiple scopes. Also how you can install content packs, because that has been a question that I've been getting on my channel lately. And you will find the timestamps in the description if you want to skip to a specific section, and also the link to the mod and the content packs will be in the video description. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this video. Let's start with the basics, like how to obtain a gun in the first place. So you can either craft it or you can purchase it from an arms dealer. Now an arms dealer can be found in a village with the structure looking something like this. The sign will be hanging out front, and the arms dealer workstation will be the block that converts a villager into a dealer in the first place. So as we don't have a villager here, I'm going to spawn one, and he should become an arms dealer. And now if we take a look at the deals here, as it's only level 1 right now, he's only selling ammunition, but I think after level 2 or 3 you have a chance to get a gun from him. Now if you don't want to go through this route, then you can always craft the weapon printer. Now the weapon printer will be made using 6 ingots of iron, 2 pieces of glass pane, and a chemical processor. Now this processor is a bit expensive in the early game as it requires redstone, copper, lapis, iron nuggets, but more importantly a diamond. Now you also have a chance of obtaining this processor from the arms dealer. So yeah, that's that. Now once you have crafted the weapon printer, as the name suggests, now in here you can craft every weapon attachment, not only from the base mod but also from any content packs that you have installed. So here's recipe for every ammunition. As you click on it, the bigger shells are more expensive and the smaller bullets are less expensive. And in a similar way, you can check the crafting recipe for everything like the attachments, for example, the sights, every scope available. And finally, if we go down here, we'll come to the bigger attachments and the guns. So guns are the most expensive part here, and as you can see, these are the guns from the Cyberpunk add-on or the Cyberpunk content pack, and this is a gun from Doom content pack. So yeah, basically you can craft every gun from this weapon printer, and the crafting recipes will be available here. Now one of the most important material that you are going to need throughout this entire mod will be gunmetal. So gunmetal will be obtained by combining iron and copper, which will give you gunmetal mesh. Now this mesh will then be need to be processed or cooked in a blast furnace using coal. And once that's done, you'll get the gunmetal ingot. Now this ingot is pretty important as it is used to craft the gun internals, which is an integral part of every weapon there is. So gun internals will be crafted with 3 gunmetals, 2 iron ingots, and then if we take a look at its uses, you can see that every gun and or any basically micro crafting recipe will use the gun internals in order to obtain a gun. So I'm going to get the required things in my inventory, and let's craft an M4. So the M4 or the submod 2 requires gunmetal, the internals, iron, and gold. So once I have all of these things in my inventory, the red color should disappear, and I should be able to craft the gun by long pressing the craft button. And that's it. We have obtained an M4 in our inventory. Now you'll notice that first things first, pressing the I key you can inspect the gun, and pressing the Y key you can open the attachments tab. Now this gun came with a holographic sight. So some weapons, when you craft them, they will come with a few attachments, but most of the time the guns will not come with any attachments. You will need to craft them separately. Now the attachments which can be placed will be marked by green, and the attachments which can't be attached to a gun will be marked by red. So pressing the B key will change the fire mode. So we have 3 fire modes on this weapon: the burst fire, automatic, and single fire mode. So those are some of the default keybinds that there are in the mod. You can change them by going into the settings. And now let's take a look at the variable scope system. So here I have 3 scopes with me: delta sight and holographic. Both of them have a zoom of 30%, but the ACOG has a zoom of 80%, and you can see that it can take a secondary scope on it. So for example, if I attach the ACOG scope, you see that it opens up a slot for a secondary scope, which I can put on top of the scope right here. And now by pressing the V key, you can toggle between these two scopes. So here's the delta sight, and by pressing V again, we can switch to the ACOG for long range. So yeah, you can also put canted rails, and this opens up so many possibilities. The canted rails will put the scope on the side if you don't want to put a scope on top of the scope. So here we have the ACOG, and on the canted rails, we have the delta side. Now this opens up a ton of possibilities. So like for example, we have the smaller scopes with a zoom of 30%, and then we have the bigger scopes with a zoom of over 80%. Now most of these bigger scopes can take a scope on top of them. Like the HAMR scope, for example, will come crafted with a delta sight on top of it by default. So on a canted rail, if I put a scope with 80% zoom and then a secondary scope on top of it, in total you can have like 4 scopes on a single gun. Why you would want this monstrosity, I don't know, but yeah, it is possible. So right now I have 4 scopes on my gun. Here's the HAMR sight by default. Then we have the holographic sight. And if I press the V key again, that will switch to the ACOG sights and the delta sights. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 scopes on a single gun. It's possible. So that's how the variable scope system will work. So here's the loadout that I'm going for. Oh, by the way, pressing shift on any gun will show you the list of attachments that you can use on a given gun. So this is a very handy feature. And now I'm going to attach a grenade launcher, which is another interesting attachment, and a suppressor to the M4 with the ACOG sights and the delta sights mounted on the canted rail. And this is the gun after all of the attachments have been placed. So in order to use the grenade launcher, you press the B key, which is the key to change the fire mode. And after switching it 3 times, you will get to the Underbarrel grenade launcher. But in survival, you will need grenades in your inventory in order to use this. And this is the grenade launcher for the AK variant, a bit different, but works like in the similar manner. And yeah, so this is how you can attach Underbarrel grenade launchers and use them. Now, not all weapons in this mod can be equipped with attachments. Like for example, this multiple grenade launcher. You can put any attachments on it. You can't modify it. It's going to be like the base variant as we crafted. Same goes for the javelin launcher. And there goes our villager. So yeah, some weapons can take attachments, some weapons cannot. By pressing shift, you can see which is which. Alright, now let's come to an interesting part, which is installing add-ons or content packs. So as you can see, I have a lot of content packs installed here. And how you do this is basically inside your Minecraft folder, you make a folder called point blank, everything in small. And in this point blank folder, you place down the content packs which you download from CurseForge. Once you have all of the content packs in there and you load the game, you should have all of the packs, or if they are compatible with the current version, inside your game. So here the Cyberpunk content pack, it is like very new. It was released a few days ago if I am not wrong. So it can take attachments, or it supports the attachment system from the base mod. But if we take a look at some other pack, like for example the Doom pack, then right now it doesn't really support the attachments from the base mod. So here is a heavy cannon from the Doom pack. As you can see, it can take any attachment from the mod. So yeah, it doesn't support attachment system right now, but maybe an update will change that. So basically this is how you install content packs or add-ons for Fixed Point Blank. Now, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know it was a bit over the place, but I just wanted to go like or do an overview of how the attachment systems, the scopes, and the content packs work. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Peace out and stay safe.